Welcome back and thanks for staying with us. We're starting off the front page review with The Nation and the major headline, Tinubu CNG powered transport will lift economy. Federal government takes delivery of 90 hybrid buses in Abuja and Lagos. And you can see the picture of that. El-Rufai's ex-advisor on watch list over 11 billion naira project. And then another story, 72% makes 5 credits above in Wase. Wilson Jack takes oath as heads of civil service. Yeah, we need to be sure. Alleged 5.4 billion shares. CBN, FBN Holdings ask courts to dismiss Barbican capital suit. So obviously there are lots of stories. What are we starting?
So let's celebrate the new head of service.
Oh,
another active woman, Mrs. Didi Wilson Jack.
Wow. I took the story like 2 weeks ago that she was coming in.
Yes, you know, Folashade Yemi on the outgoing one too. You can see how she held the civil service, and you know she's stepped down and retired yesterday. And the president has sworn in Mrs. Didi as the new head of service. You know, when women
we just had to celebrate our own.
Yeah, it was done at 1 p.m. yesterday at the council chamber within the villa. And Mrs. Wilson Jack comes with a wealth of experience. Number one, she's a lawyer. Yes, she's a lawyer. She started within the civil service she's from Bayelsa. Started within the civil service in Rivers State, grew up all the way up the ranks to the Solicitor General for Bayelsa State, PAMSEC in the Ministry of Justice, and all the way to the civil service through the Ministry of Niger Delta Affairs. And so I'm positive of her tenure.
To deliver.
Congratulations.
This is not a win for, it's not just about women, it is someone who earned it at the same time. Who has the CNG?
I do. I have the prospect of compressed natural gas, CNG powered vehicles on our roads for public transportation. They said brightened yesterday with the receipt of 90 high-capacity buses by the federal government. The president declared the use of CNG. Okay, as we know, he has said, you know, CNG buses is a way to go in boosting the nation's economy, alleviating transportation costs. He received 30 buses at the villa yesterday. They said his representatives took delivery of 60 buses in Lagos, and 20 of the buses that were received in Abuja were produced by Indigenous auto manufacturing firm in Nelson Motors. I'm so happy to hear that because there were so many things that have been going around, you know, so I'm happy that was mentioned. And then another were donated by the Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association. Then the remaining 10 were provided by NNPC. So the president says that countries like India have mandated CNG for all their commercial vehicles since 2004. In Nigeria, commercial vehicles make up about 80% of our petrol demand, costing us trillions of naira each month. The solution is here. We'll have it and we'll work on it. We promise you things will definitely get better and prosperity will be achieved. It is a great inspiration for me to receive these buses on behalf of the government, making it a significant innovation to transportation. So he went ahead to commission, they say symbolically commission these buses. I'm so happy for us, you know, we're taking the right steps towards the future and less, as we know, the economic hardship, this is going to go a long way in helping us do that. And I'm also happy about the Indigenous manufacturing auto company in Osun involved in this as well. Let us keep pushing our Indigenous brands.
Okay, so I have the story of the El-Rufai's ex-advisor Lawal on watch list over 11 billion naira projects. They said the former special advisor to immediate past Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai has been summoned by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC. They said Mr. Jimmy Lawal was invited over an alleged light rail project valued at 11 billion naira. It was learned that there was no contract file for implementation of the purported light rail, but they said it was fully paid for. He also said that he was scheduled to appear before ICPC team of investigators, but he failed to show up and he was not even represented as well. So they said, according to the commission, Lawal is being probed in connection with loans, foreign and domestic, obtained without following due process. They also said that the commission had discovered that his account domiciled with a major bank revealed a total sum of 144 million receipts from 4 private companies. Now they said the anti-graft agency has requested the department, the DSS, and the Nigerian Immigration Service to place the former advisor on watch list at airports, seaports, and land borders. They also said that his full name is Lawal Shakiru Olujimi Adebisi. He hails from Ogun State and speaks Yoruba and English fluently. So in case you guys see him somewhere, you guys report as soon as possible.
All right, moving on to the Punch, major headline. Federal government reaches 3-month agreement on local government allocation. Government worried about 1990 era, when local governments couldn't pay teachers, worker salary officials. Zenith Bank begins 290 billion capital raise. Russian flag, police move suspects to Abuja, plan sedition charges. Mohbad's family opposes late singer's anniversary event. Revenue generating agencies fail to remit 4 trillion, that's from the FAC. And protest inflation top as Council of State meets today. Marketers project 600 naira per litre for Dangote petrol. The president's unveiling of the 30 hybrid bus, CNG buses, we've taken that story already, and 215,267 results withheld from our practices, says YX. So what story are we taking?
Can I just quickly take major headline? So even though the Apex Court has ruled that local governments have autonomy and should handle their finances, the federal government has gone into an agreement or an arrangement with the governors to withhold this, the effect of this judgment till another 3 months. They call it moratorium, but I don't care. Right now, they are going to obviously delay the payment of these monies directly to local governments till October before the implementation of the law. And it's reading the entire story of how we got here, all 77 local governments in the country should have been celebrated, and this should have been automatic, because under the past administration, NFIU had tried to effect this and also immediately put a limit to the daily withdrawals of local governments. But now that we even have a substantive judgment, thanks to the Attorney General Lateef Fagbemi, they still have a moratorium, and I don't know why. It doesn't make any sense.
Of your voice, you don't agree.
Yeah, no, I'm totally, it's paining me.
That they are worried about the salaries.
Yes.
The governors are citing salaries as an excuse. Whatever the reason, the governors should immediately adjust and find ways to generate their own revenue, as opposed to taking over that of the local government. Also, where all the local governments signed their own away. Yeah, it's the one that's paining me.
It's not against the law to sign their own away.
A Supreme Court's judgment. Are you serious?
If
you don't know your rights, they still give you the rights. You say you don't, you sign it.
It's not our hot topic. We'll take a quick break. When we return, we'll continue with front page review. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Okay. So this is about monies being unremitted by agencies. So the monies unremitted by revenue-generating agencies to the coffers of the federal government increased by 4.1 trillion naira as of June 2024. This is the Committee on Federal Account Allocations, reporting. FAC stated that this was despite the agency's reconciliation and payment of outstanding debts of 94.96 billion naira in May of 2024. So the latest development disclosed in the report, a breakdown was given of the agencies that are indebted to the government. It shows that NNPC owes now 140.62 billion, that Nigerian Upstream Petroleum Regulatory Commission and NNPC owe a combined amount of $23.81 million and 1.94 trillion naira. The Federal Inland Revenue Service and NNPC have an unresolved remittance of $141.25 million and 1.4 trillion naira. The Ministry of Solid Minerals Development and Central Bank of Nigeria owe 48.75 million naira. And, the report is saying that the government could lose over 3 trillion if revenue-generating agencies in the country do not reconcile unremitted earnings collected.
Right, so what's
happening?
So I have...
As in, it's just weird. Yeah.
Where's it going? Why are they not remitting?
Yeah, so I have the story of marketers project 600 naira per litre for Dangote. They said the independent petroleum marketers in Nigeria are hoping They are hoping, that means they are helping Dangote to...
It's not based on facts. I wonder why it's now...
They are hoping that the Dangote petroleum refinery will sell its petrol at 600 naira or 650 naira per litre when it's finally released into the market. It's not yet in the market.
As in all this
But the
We're
prices...
still waiting for crude oil to get...
So the IP man, National Vice President Hamid Fashola, saying that the 20 billion naira refinery will bring down the cost of fuel if it gets the needed support, especially as it has to do with crude supply.
It's still a story around giving them crude supply. Let me take the Lagos State government, who has the Lagos State Consumer Protection Agency has warned against the sale of unregistered herbal products in the state. Now, I'm a consumer of agbo of different. I don't do the one on the street, though, but I was excited to have to take this information during the general meeting of LASCOPA. Afolabi Sholebo emphasized there's a growing concern for unregistered and potentially harmful herbal products being marketed online with claims of curing many diseases. And he noted that there is easy access because of social media to unregulated products that will pose significant health risks to consumers. So they're committed to upholding the integrity of traditional medicine within Lagos. So it's not like they're against herbal medicine. They're just saying that it should be regulated, that there is a registrar, the registrar for Lagos State Traditional Medicine Board, Principal Tunde Adele, has welcomed the initiative and asked for collaboration with LASCOPA so that those who want to sell this product should get registered. There's an increase in the number and many people are patronizing these products. Efficacy is often questionable. There's nothing to determine if it is credible, if the claims they are making are credible or not, and this is bringing undue risk. There would be an increase of liver issues and kidney issues. This is me adding my own to the story because I'm really concerned about it, and as a patronizer of their products, I am joining Lagos State to say other people should stop. Yes. I don't patronize unregistered ones, but I'm an agbo.
I agree.
Yeah, let's
some
respect
some medication brought in from different countries that are not registered.
Yes, although use the word. But I was about to call the name, but there are all these herbs that are brought in, claiming to do all sorts of things, and we really cannot tell. I'm drinking one now, safe. Vanguard, distress as harsh economy forces shutdown of over 50 firms, 80% others in low capacity utilization, over 100,000 employees thrown into the job market. Labour begs federal government to intervene. We have the story of the WASI. I'm interested because credit passes in English and maths lower than 2023. Obviously, our students are not reading or they are not passing, whichever way. Southeast monarchs, clergy decry ethnic profiling of Igbos. Alleged over 5 billion shares. CBN First Bank Holding has called to dismiss Barbican's Capital Suite. So please, who has the WAEC story? Can we have that?
I have the WAEC story. So they said WAEC withholds 215,267 results over alleged malpractice. They said the West African Examination Council has withheld results. He also said over alleged malpractice. Dr. Amos Dangote's head national office stated this while announcing the results Monday in Lagos. He said the number represents 11.92% of candidates who sat for the examination. He noted that the figure was 4.37% lower than 16.29% recorded in the same diet in 2023. The withheld results of these candidates that sat for the examination are in connection with various reported cases of examination malpractice. They said most of them go in with their phones into the examination hall, and also their teachers also help them in, trying to do all this exam malpractice while they are writing their exams. They also said that the WAEC boss added that the committee's decision will be communicated to the affected candidates through their various schools in due course. He also said that the candidates affected by these decisions to call for redress of their cases if they so wish through the waecinternational.org, that's the website. He said, according to him, the council will continue to sanction all cases of examination malpractice.
Okay, so the major headline of the Vanguard is breaking my heart. Vanguard did an article on how the economy has affected people in the businesses covered under the ages of chemical and non-metallic products subsector of the country, and they have a body for the chemical and Chemical and Non-Metallic Products Employers Federation. This shows that this body had a strength of about 100 firms, but recently over 50 of such firms have closed down. 4 are on the brink of closing down. And within their strength, they used to employ 350,000 people across the country. And so we can just guess those who have lost their job. Yeah, over 100 workers have already lost their jobs. They are struggling right now. The body is speaking on them, and they mentioned some of the firms. The executive secretary of the body, Mr. Olorunfemi Oke, was the one, decrying this situation. Usually, these are people in business of production of medicals, pharmaceuticals, perfume, soaps, and all of that. And so these multinationals, medium, small scale and medium and small scale enterprise, all of them are closing down due to the economic circumstance within the country right now. Yeah, people are losing jobs, and just reading it in totality gives me this fear, because we took LG yesterday with their plant, a very huge plant for that matter, and when the people employed are going to suffer yesterday, and now we have to read this again today.
So I want to take the story about the Southeast monarchs. So the joint body of Southeast traditional rulers and representative of Igbo archbishops and bishops on peace and conflict resolution yesterday, they expressed their concerns over the resurgent escalation of hate speech and ethnic profiling targeting the Igbo community. The statement was released by the chairman of the Anambra State Traditional Rulers Council, Obi Nemeka Achebe, and signed by a few other members. He said, history has shown us that hate speech and unchecked hostility can quickly lead to catastrophic consequences, especially with the tragedy of what happened with Rwandan genocide. So they said they understand and they appreciate the president's speech where he spoke against the ethnic bigotry and threats against any section of the country, and that to those who have taken advantage of the situation, they appreciated that speech, but they felt there should be more. So they said respectfully in their view that they want more concrete steps taken. They advised the government that there should be quick prosecution, legal action should be taken against anyone who is supporting hate speech or using hate speech and ethnic profiling against Igbos and other ethnic religion, ethnic groups. They also mentioned that the National Assembly should expedite the passage of a comprehensive legislation that criminalizes hate speech and ethnic profiling with stringent penalties for those found guilty. Then advised education and awareness, that they recommend immediate deployment of nationwide campaign to educate citizens on the dangers of hate speech and the importance of ethnic harmony, that it can be achieved through public service announcements, workshops, seminars, media, and community, that all lovers of peace in Nigeria should undertake the support for this, and leaders should support as well. I am all for unity. We're stronger together, and our language should show it. But sincerely, X, formerly Twitter, has been filled with a lot of hate speech. And we saw the way UK stood up and spoke against it, created a law, quickly passed it to say, if you retweet, not just that you posted, though, you retweet an information that is not, that is hate, that is that is inciting, you will be prosecuted for retweeting it. Yes. So that is a government that understands the impact of hate speech. We need to see our own legislative arm pushing that kind of narrative as well. If only they
allow the prosecution and not call it gagging freedom of speech. Because it's inciting, but here it's gagging of freedom of speech.
Moving on to Nigerian Tribune, major headline, how Nigeria walked into food crisis by experts. It was detailing all the things that could have been done and all the things we can do. Identifying insecurity, blaming anchor borrower, saying elites conspiracy, all of that stuff. And in other news, Edo government, Shaibu fights gets messier. I'm sure Nima has that story. How we killed our boss demand staff of Ondo Ketra confesses. Police confirm kidnap of 2 Chinese in Ogun State, and court sacks Rivers APC chairman as explosion rocks APP secretariat in Port Harcourt. Now, there's a very interesting picture of the former governor of Lagos State and the current governor of Lagos State. Apparently, the former governor, Ambode, visited a state visit to our current governor, Abajide Sanwo-Olu. Tongues were wagging. What is going to happen Is there something
And they just be hanging out.
They just hanging out. Okay, well, but the picture made headlines, so something.
I have a sad story to take of the caterer, 54-year-old woman caterer who was killed by her domestic staff. The police, of course, have gone ahead to arrest 2 of the 3 domestic staff. They said that they confessed in custody. They said that the woman on her 54th birthday had invited them. She's a caterer. She had prepared this very delicious meal for them. And after they ate her food, they descended on her and they killed her. They said, according to them, we strangled her and cut her head with a cutlass, despite her begging us to spare her life.
Why?
The suspect said the deafening noise from the generator did not let the neighbors know what was going on in the house. Apparently, they stabbed her repeatedly with knives on her stomach. I mean, it was a gory sight. They said that they also now, to cover their tracks, they emptied the gas cylinders, tried to set the place off on fire. Yeah. But, you know, they had done a lot of damage to her body that even after, you know, the fire went down, they were able to tell that something had happened to her. So that was what led investigation. They didn't say the reason why they did this? Well, they took her ATM cards, they took her phones and things like that. This is someone, you know, we always give excuses to bad people. You hear people, well, you too, you need to behave better to your workers. You need to do this. No, it's not about what you do. People are what evil. Exactly. This is a woman who called them to her house, fed them. They acknowledged that she fed them delicious meals. Oh, no. And they chose to do that to her.
From her and kill her. What's happening in the states? That's what we can
show now. The State Commissioner for Communications and Orientation, Honorable Chris Osa Hikari, was the one that issued this saying that the Shaibu is impersonating the deputy governor in Edo State. So they said that all correspondence from him are impersonating. So you remember that he was impeached in April. For this election.
Yes.
He had gone to court and the Federal High Court had ruled that his impeachment was illegal.
Yes.
He tried to come back. Instead of him being reinstated, the governor then went on and, you know, appointed someone else. And now he's working from wherever he can find as an office. And they insist he's impersonating because they have appealed that judgment. And so they will not allow rule of law. I'm just seeing rule of law.
I'm hoping that they would expedite this. They would expedite the appeal so that we can have justice being said. But it is extremely bad that people in power are the ones that are watering down, disregarding the judiciary, which is a very, very important arm of government. And who is going to now fight for judiciary? We, media. We'll be shouting it here because that's the least we can do. Judiciary is the last place for common men to get confidence.
It's not even, if a deputy governor cannot get justice, imagine.
Very sad. That's what we can take on Front Page Review for today.